Ubaidullah and Ali have shared the motional EMF assignment. Safrina, you have given Faraday's assignment. Okay, Faraday's law. See, in this question, just one thing. Area is already given, magnetic field is given. It says in the first part, with its plane, means magnetic field is normal to the plane. So this is, see, this is the plane. If magnetic field is normal and area vector is also normal. So this is like this. This is the area vector and this is the magnetic field. So angle between them will be 0 degree. So basically different angles are given. It says magnetic field is inclined at 30 degree to the field. This we already did it in the class, same question we did. Where it was, if it is making an angle of 30 degree with the plane, if we discussed, remember this is a question from the class, that if it is making an angle of 30 degree with the plane, then we want the angle with the area vector. This would be the area vector. So this angle 60 degree we will consider. Here 0 degree. Last says parallel to the field. Parallel to the field means this is the plane surface. Okay. Magnetic field is parallel. Like if this is the surface, this is just parallel to the plane. Now when you drop the area vector, it will always be perpendicular because area vector is perpendicular to the field. So here straight away your theta will be 90 degree. That's the first assignment. It's a very easy question. You should be able to do. Second one, Lenz's law. This nobody has given. This assignment is still left. Okay, I gave 2 assignments in the last class. So I'll not discuss this in today's class. Once you all give Faraday's laws of induction, let me discuss. See, first says magnetic flux is given and at t is equal to 2 seconds, you have to calculate the EMF. Straight away, now you see flux is depending on time and a time instant is given. So you simply differentiate it, minus d phi over dt. When you will differentiate it, it will be 15t square plus 8t plus 2. You put in the value of 2 seconds, you'll get the answer for EMF. And it's, did it ask? No, it has asked induced current. See, once you get the value of EMF divided by the resistance, that will give you the current according to Ohm's law. So here, I don't think so you'll have much trouble with the questions. See, this third one, the fourth one we've already discussed in the class, where T by 4 is the time. Calculate induced current through the loop. See, magnetic field through a circular loop of wire 12 centimeter in radius. This is the radius, this is the resistance given, changes. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the loop. You have to calculate the induced current in the loop and plot it as a function of time. See, magnetic field is there, time is there. What do we have with us? We just have the radius and we have the resistance. Now, why do we have the resistance? Because current is equal to EMF divided by the resistance, right? And what is the EMF equal to? When you have the circular loop of this value, it is changing and magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the loop. So see, E is equal to d phi over dt. Flux is magnetic field into area, that is dA divided by T. This is the magnetic field, this is the area, this is the time. So basically magnetic field versus time has been plotted. When you divide it by the resistance, you get the current. So basically, if you take the slope of the graph, that will give you the EMF because B and T, they are getting divided. Right? Magnetic field and time, they are getting divided. So through the slope of the graph, we'll get EMF. Resistance is a constant term. Whatever graph you will get here will be exactly the same for the current. That's what the question said here. And coming to this one, in this, see, rest of the questions I gave. Here there's a question that is an important one which comes in the exam. Third one, I'll discuss the third one. Ubaidullah and Ali, I'll check your paper of this topic. Rest of the questions we've already discussed. This question we stopped at this question only in the last class. These kinds of questions we've already discussed. The third one, fourth one, fifth one, this is a topic based on motional EMF only, but we'll discuss the third one. Fourth and fifth are exactly the same. So your entire assignment will be completed. And these two we have already done in the class itself. It's just that the values come. See, it says that the rod is there and this time the rod is rotating. So again, it's a movement and rod is behaving like a conductor. If you have a rod present and the rod is rotating at an angle at, let's say, omega, okay, and here this is your conductor. This is basically the conductor. So this is your conductor. This rod is the conductor. So what we do here, we choose a very small length dr, let's choose. And what we do for the radius, okay, let me tell you one thing. Formula of the motional EMF is E is equal to B LV. So if angular velocity is given, radius is given, we should use the relation from the rotational dynamics of class 11th. Recall, velocity, linear velocity is equal to r omega. Okay, r omega. So velocity can be written as r omega, and we are choosing a very small length. So length can be written as dr, because we'll integrate it then from 0 to length L of the rod. We'll integrate and we'll get the value of this rotating rod. So that will give us the motional EMF, because this is a conductor. So EMF will be motional EMF. Now see, if I put it, E will be equal to B. Velocity is omega r and L is dr. Integrating it from 0 to L. B is constant, omega is constant, r is the variable. We'll have to integrate r dr from 0 to L. So B omega r can be written as r square by 2. Now this is your integration. If anyone is having trouble with integration, please stop me here itself. So when you put in the limits, upper, then the lower, that becomes half B omega L squared. That's it. So this is a sort of derivation also for the rotating rod's EMF, and that you can refer to the assignment, rotating rod's EMF. Okay, so this you should write it in the copy. Rest of it was easy. You can write it. Okay, and then I'll start with mutual induction topic. So please copy till here, all of you. This one at least write properly in your notebook, because this derivation is important. Lots of questions have been asked from this. And I'll start with that. And others who are not submitting the assignments, Marwa, you didn't give the test also, the assignment which was shared with you, that you haven't given, Marwa?
Yes, Mama. The revised timetable has been given, so I will send it.
Oh, all right. No problem. And all of your revision tests have been started. So please attend the revision test. I think you must have received the schedule, all of you. Or if you haven't, you will receive it in a day or two. Please attempt the revision test, because this will be helpful for your half yearlies. And I'll have to discuss it in the class, and everybody should respond. So at least this time, 3 students, Safrina, Ubaidullah, Ali, have given the assignments. Aisha, Marwa, Anisa, assignments also have to be given. In these discussions, you should at least know what the question is. Okay, Aisha, your, I think, last assignment was checked itself, okay, which was the trouble. So just start giving the assignments of EMI also, Aisha. Rest of it is completed. But Marwa and Anisa, at least Aisha has given the other assignments. Only this chapter is left. Marwa and Anisa, you both start giving the assignments, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Just text are done when all of you have written. So I'll start with induction then. Lisa and Ubaidullah, what about you both? Yes. Okay, see now the last topic induction of this chapter, electromagnetic induction. So what all things have we studied? We first talked about magnetic flux. Others also please open the camera. Only Safrina follows the instruction without being reminded. So other students also please open it and be responsive in the class. See, we have discussed class. Magnetic flux is over. I'm repeating the topic so that you can make in your mind if there's any trouble, because this is just the last part. Magnetic flux we did, then we did the Faraday's laws of EMI. After that, we discussed the Lenz law. And after the Lenz law, we discussed motional EMF. These are the four major topics which we have already discussed. Now, induction basically, see, whatever we have studied, everything is just linked. It's a very small chapter. So see, magnetic flux led to the Faraday's law. Faraday's law led to Lenz law, which led to motional EMF. So this is also part of it. Now see, what is induction? We studied till now, we have studied that whenever there is a change in the magnetic field, that will cause a change in the magnetic flux. This we have discussed. And we also discussed that these things, basically a change in magnetic flux, would cause induced current to exist or the induced EMF to exist. This is what we've already studied and which was one of the laws of Faraday, correct? Now, induction means, let's say I have a coil here. Basically, I'm talking about self-induction. Two kinds of inductions are there. One is self, other is mutual. So right now I have started with a self-induction. Okay, mutual when we'll discuss, then I'll come to that. Let's say we have a coil over here. Now, in this coil, magnetic field changes, increases or decreases. Flux increases or decreases. Flux changes, magnetic field changes. So there is an induced current and induced EMF. When this change occurs and the induced EMF and induced current occurs in the same coil, we call it as the self-induction. That is what is known as the self-induction. Okay, so induced current will be here or induced EMF will also be here within the same coil. And why will it occur? Because of the change in the original current. Now, what does this mean? Change in the original current? See, first look at this example. Let's say this is a wire connected to batteries, connected to a switch. These are the wires and an inductor is present. Now, what is happening? First, the switch was open. Now the switch is being closed. So when the switch is being closed, from a very zero value of current, the current is increasing to its maximum value. This one is the current because of the battery, the circuit current, right? So what will happen? Current carrying conductor will cause magnetic field to change. Why change? Because there's a change in your current. From zero to it is increasing, 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 reaching a higher value. When you had the circuit open, there was no current. When you switched it off, slowly, slowly, and then current increased to its maximum value. So since this current change, which causes the magnetic field, this magnetic field will change. Magnetic field changes, flux changes, and this will eventually lead to induced current and induced EMF, which we have studied in the Faraday's law. Or if I reverse it, class, let's say the switch was closed, the current was at its maximum value flowing, but then you have opened this switch. Gradually, current decreases, and becomes zero. Again, the magnetic field decreases, flux will decrease. So this is a change. What it will cause? Induced current and induced EMF. Now see, after this, you will understand the definition better. This says self-induction is the phenomena of production of induced EMF in a coil when a changing current passes through it. What is this changing current? This changing current is the current of the battery. This current, when the circuit current changes, okay? When this current, the circuit current changes, see, from 0 to a higher value to a zero value. So why this? Because we have studied in Biot-Savart law that current carrying conductor will produce a magnetic field. So this will also produce magnetic field, which basically here it will increase, here it will decrease. So that's why the definition says self-induction is the phenomena of production of induced EMF or induced current, both, when a changing current passes through it. And formula wise, it is the easiest, very easy to remember. See, if the current here increased, this also increased, this also increased. When the current decreased, this decreased, this decreased. So we can straight away say that the magnetic flux is directly proportional to the current. So here, in order to remove the proportionality sign, a constant term comes, that is L. Now what is this? Let me discuss the terms. See, phi you already know. This is the magnetic flux. I also, which is the electric current. What is this L? So this is the new term, that is the coefficient of self-induction. Coefficient of self-induction. Or there is one more term which it is known by and most commonly used, self-inductance. This is known as self-inductance. So you will hear this term often, self-inductance value is given. It's not necessary every time you will get coefficient of this, but these are the names. So what do we have? Flux is directly proportional to current. Flux is equal to Li. So what do we get? This is our formula. Now you have the formula of flux. EMF is equal to minus d phi over dt according to Faraday's law. So if I put, finally you can say minus L di over dt. If I put the same value of flux from here to here, this is the value of the induced EMF that you will get. Minus L di over dt. This is the complete value. Okay. So see, self-inductance, from here, if I take self-inductance numerically equal to magnetic flux. If I say, look here, I'll explain you to you. If I say flux is equal to Li, so self-inductance is equal to flux divided by the current. So if I say this current, let's say the value of this current is 1 ampere. So what will be left in the formula? What will be left?
Flux.
Yeah, flux will be left equal to
Coefficient.
L. Yes, coefficient, correct. Flux is equal to L. So see, when we say current is 1, basically when do we have current 1? 1 coulomb flows in 1 second. So see, we can say self-inductance is numerically equal to magnetic flux. This is numerically equal, but at what condition? when unit current flows through it in 1 second. When there is unit current flowing through it. Okay. So this is just one way of defining it. And now comes the SI unit. SI unit is completely new. We haven't used this anywhere, not Coulomb or anything, because from here it should be Weber by Ampere if you look at like this, but it's not used. Weber by Ampere is not used, and don't use it even. This has the unit as Henry. So with capital H, you will be using. Like if you want to say 5 Henry, so 5H like this is the standard. So by looking at H, you should know it is the coefficient. I'm quickly repeating it. If there's any trouble at any point, please stop me, class. See, self-induction basically, whenever magnetic field changes, magnetic flux changes, and induced current and induced EMF is there introduced in our system. So if this phenomena occurs in the same coil, means changes also in that coil and induced EMF is also getting induced in the same coil. We call this phenomena as this self-induction. Now, when the actual current, the conducting current changes, it causes a change in the magnetic field. That will cause a change in the flux, which will again produce induced current and induced EMF. So that's what the definition of self-induction is. We can say flux is directly proportional to current and the constant is self-inductance. When you put it in Faraday's laws of EMI, we say E is equal to minus L di over dt, because E is minus d phi over dt. And it is thus coefficient of self-induction is numerically equal to the flux if unit current passes through it, and SI unit is Henry. Are all these points clear to everyone?
Ma'am, this one, middle part.
Name it, Vedula. Which one? I'm
This,
scrolling.
this one.
This one?
EMF is, yes.
Oh, see. Here, basically, flux's value has been gotten. From here, if I write the value of flux as Li. Now, coefficient is constant. It won't be variable. So, coefficient, when you differentiate, it's like I've put here. So, coefficient will come out. And current can be variable in the system. Current can vary. So, di over dt is left. I've just put the value of Li here. L out, di over dt. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sometimes, class, this part is given to you and written as the rate of current is given. So rate of current means di over dt. Now is it clear to all?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Then copy it down.
Ma'am, can you scroll?
Written, Ubaidullah?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you scroll?
Let me know once done.
Done. Ma'am, little bit is done.
Yes, everybody has written. Does also?
Yes, ma'am.
Ubaidullah? Okay. Anisa, what about you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, there is one derivation that comes from this induction is the inductance of a long solenoid. Okay, this relates with the solenoid chapter that we've studied. So yes, see, here we have just studied the formula of the self-induction. So anyone, Marwa, can you just tell what's the formula that we've discussed for flux? Li. Yes, flux is equal to Li. Though your voice didn't come, Marwa, just check it. But I could just make it that you were saying Li. Just check it in your system once. Okay, so flux is equal to Li. We did a formula of the magnetic field for a solenoid earlier itself. Okay. Safrina, can you tell me the magnetic field for a long solenoid? Can you recall? Solenoid, toroid, they had the similar formula. Magnetic field is mu naught was there. Both had the same formula, toroid, and only number of turns differed it. Can you recall now?
Not die.
No, not mu naught by. Yes, Ali, what's the formula? Ali, your camera is closed today. Mu naught Ni. Yes, correct. This is equal to mu naught Ni. Okay, all right, no problem. If there's a internet issues, mu naught Ni. Safrina, now got it?
Yes.
B is equal to mu naught Ni. Anisa, what's the formula of magnetic flux? Anisa? Yes, Anisa, what's the formula of magnetic flux? Do you know? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me. Look into your notes.
B A cos theta.
Yes, B A cos theta. That means B dot A. Okay, dot product of
Yes,
magnetic
ma'am.
field
B dot.
and the
Yes, ma'am.
very B dot A. Okay. Now see if this is B dot A. So flux is equal to magnetic field multiplied to the area. So if we put the value of magnetic field here, so our flux will be equal to mu naught Ni into E. Now see, for the entire solenoid, if I want to find out the self-inductance, I'll have to multiply it with the number of turns again for it, because this was just the formula that we used. We didn't derive it for this one, right? So if I want it for the entire solenoid, I'll have to multiply it with N. So can I say the magnetic flux linked with the entire solenoid is flux linked with each turn into the number of turns per unit length? So I can say that entire net magnetic flux linked is equal to what? Mu naught, this one, Ni A multiplied to number of turns per unit length, that is small n. So this makes it mu naught N square I into A. Now this is one formula of the flux. This is another formula of the flux. Let's equate both of them because both are giving us the flux. Li is equal to mu naught N square IA. Current will be cancelled. Formula of L is mu naught N square A. A direct question has come from this formula also. Apart from the derivation, in the 2020s paper, this derivation came as it is for the self-induction. And previously, not recently, a direct question also has come from this topic. So this looks a little unimportant, but this is actually important. Okay, this derivation also, the formula part also. Till now, this thing hasn't come to write for in terms of number of terms, just in case if it comes. So you know, capital N by L is equal to small n. So their square will also be equal to this. So we can say L is equal to mu naught n square A by L square. This can also be used. Don't get confused with L. L is the self-inductance. This is the self-inductance, while L is the length. Okay, so this derivation is there. L is equal to mu naught n square A. Okay, direct formula based questions come from this. You don't have difficult questions. I'll tell you this also. See, let's practice a question based on this. This says that a 12-volt battery is connected to 6 ohm 10 Henry coil through a switch, drives a constant current through the circuit. What it is saying, there's this much battery is there. It is connected to a 6 ohm 10 Henry coil. Okay, this is the information of the coil. And it is driving a current, it is changing the current. If the switch is suddenly opened, the time that is taken is 1 millisecond to open across the coil. Okay, so voltage of the battery is given as 12 volt. It says resistance of the inductor is given as 6 ohm. Aisha, can you tell me what is this 10 given? What symbol should I write for this 10? What is it given? Aisha,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
what?
I didn't understand.
What are you saying, Aisha?
Ma'am, what's the question?
Question. You're asking the question. What is this 10 given? The value of this, what is this 10? What should I write? What is the symbol for it?
Self-inductance.
Symbol. Tell me the symbol, Aisha.
10H.
Yeah, 10H is there. What is this 10H equal to? What is it given? Like I told, voltage is 12 volt, resistance is 6 ohm.
Henry.
Henry is the unit, Aisha. With what quantity is this? Do you agree this is the voltage?
Yes, ma'am.
12 volt.
Yes, ma'am.
6 ohm is the resistance.
Yes, ma'am.
And Henry is what?
Self-induction.
Yes, self-induction, no, self-inductance, the coefficient L. Henry, what did we study? Henry is the SI unit of self-inductance, coefficient of self-induction or self-inductance. Is that clear now? Because it's a new term for you, so you should be able to identify. Now, much isn't there in the question. Time is given as 1 milliseconds, that is 10 to the power minus 3 seconds. Is there anything else? No. We just have to find out the induced EMF. See, induced EMF is equal to minus L d phi over dt, di over dt, minus L di over dt. Current is missing. Ubaidullah, can you tell a way to find out current using the data that I have written? You just require this. You don't need to see the question. From
V
here, do
by
you think
R, 12 by
V
6,
by?
2
Yes,
R.
very good. Ohm's law, using Ohm's law, correct. If you use Ohm's law, you get current. That is V by R, which is equal to 12 by 6. That is 2 ampere. Why have I written this? Because of Ohm's law. Correct. Now you have everything. You can just find out the final answer. Minus L is 10. Change in current whatever is 2. And the total time is 10 to the power minus 3. So this becomes minus 2 into 10 to the power 4 volt. Clear? Yes, class. All right. Copy down this derivation and this question, then
Ma'am,
we'll move on to mutual induction. Huh?
How is it 10 power minus 3 second?
1 millisecond is given. 1 millisecond is 10 to the power minus 3 seconds. Is
Yes.
it? Okay. 1 second wasn't given. 10 to the power 1 millisecond was given. Okay. Please write it from here.
Ma'am, why are we neglecting cos theta?
See, we are not neglecting cos theta. Here, the magnetic field that you'll take and the length, they'll be parallel to each other. See, if I draw it, this is the solenoid that we have. Okay, this is one area. Now, what do we do in magnetic flux? The first step that we do is we take the n cap. Okay, area vector is taken. If this is a circular turn, the area vector will be like this. Okay, and magnetic field we've already studied in the solenoid that it is inside. There is no outside magnetic field. Remember, I had drawn this line. So magnetic field is also here. So basically, the theta is 0. So cos 0 degree is 1. Okay.
Yes.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, here can we neglect the differentiation?
Yeah, that when time instant is given, then why to differentiate it? That we've discussed earlier also in Faraday's law. So formula I've written, you can just write I by T also, or delta I by delta T. Okay. Now talking about the second term, mutual induction, which I told you in the starting. Now see here, magnetic field and the magnetic flux. See, this is one conductor, battery is connected, a key is present, even a rheostat is connected to modulate the current, and this is the coil present. There is one more coil where galvanometer is present. Now see, in this coil, the current will come, and due to this current, the magnetic field will change. Okay, this will increase or decrease, and the flux will increase or decrease. But the induced EMF or induced current will be produced in the neighboring coil. That's why this is called as mutual induction. When it occurs within the same coil, self-induction. When it occurs within the neighboring coil, it is mutual induction. So here you will get the induced current or induced EMF. This coil where the change occurs is known as the primary coil, and in the coil where the induced EMF or induced current is produced, this is called the secondary coil. Now, I am telling you today, remember this topic properly. It will come in AC generator. That time you all should be able to tell what is mutual induction. So it's the phenomena of production of induced EMF in one coil due to change of current in the neighboring coil. Now, similarly, here also flux is directly proportional to current, but since we are talking about mutual induction, the coefficients will be different. So we can say flux, we already know it is the magnetic flux which we are referring to. This is magnetic flux. I is the current. Now, similarly, this is the coefficient of mutual induction. This is the coefficient of mutual induction. Like self-inductance, you can use the term induction. So you can also use the term mutual inductance. Like self-inductance was there, so mutual inductance. And rest of the theory part is the same. This was the major difference here. Now this flux will be phi will be equal to mi. So phi by I is equal to this mutual induction. EMF can be written as minus m di over dt. Same thing when you put it here. This is the formula of the induced EMF. And if current is again 1 ampere, flux is equal to the mutual induction. Okay, SI unit is still Henry. Same units are same for both of it. So you have to check whether the coils, two coils are present or a single coil is present. And see, if mutual induction, if I write from there, this is 1 volt by 1 ampere per 1 second, which is still equal to 1 Henry. Don't use this unit. Okay, this is what the mutual induction is all about. And the thing that I told earlier also, phi is equal to m when di over dt, or in fact just I also will help us, if when I is equal to 1 ampere in 1 second. I think this is just a repetition of what we have done. It's just addition of one more coil. Have you all got this mutual induction clear?
Yes.
Okay. So write it, then one last derivation from the solenoid that we discussed. Okay, write it.
Ma'am, is that a conductor between them lines?
This one, no, no. This is, I was just showing that they are close to each other. This is not a conductor.
Ma'am, can you scroll up? That
Yes. E is the induced EMF. E is equal to m di over dt. From that formula only this has been written. Now the last derivation, if two solenoids are present in. Now remember one thing, since we are talking about mutual induction class, so magnetic field will be due to the other coil. That's what we studied, that the magnetic field will change in one coil and the effect you will see in the neighboring coil. That's what we studied. So similarly here, if I'm calculating the flux on the first coil, so I'll consider the magnetic field of second. And if I'm considering the flux of the first, magnetic field of the second, means if I'm considering the first one, then second one will be used, and second, then first one will be used. Because magnetic field of the primary will change, and effect you will see in the secondary. So let's say these are two coils present in close proximity to each other, and length is taken the same. Okay, so length is not variable here. I1, I2 are the respective currents, N1, N2 are the respective number of turns, R1, R2 are the respective radii. So if I'm calculating the flux of the first one, I'll have to consider the magnetic field of the second coil. Okay, because this is mutual induction. One is seeing the effect, other is the cause producing one. Rest area and number of turns we'll have to consider for this one only. So B2 will be equal to mu naught N2 I2. And see, mutual induction, we already know that is flux 1 divided by I2. Okay, when you are calculating mutual induction on 1 due to 2, see what is this? This is basically mutual induction of first coil due to second, M12. So flux of the first one, but current of the second, because current is changing, that's why the magnetic field is produced. Okay, so phi1 by I2, same thing. It's actually the same thing, just two different formula are used here. So if I write the formula of phi1, it will be mu naught N2 I2 A into capital N. And if I put it here in this formula of the mutual induction, M12, this whole flux means this one, mu naught N2 I2 A N divided by this I2 will be there. Current gets cancelled, and let us replace this capital N also. Capital N will be equal to small n into L. Okay, now what was this N from? I didn't write 1 or 2. Flux 1, so N1 will come. Area 1 is there, no? So area will be the same. Area I'm taking common. Area of the coils will be the same. Why? See, if I take, let's say, one coil is this, other coil is just this. So magnetic field part, the common part that is present is this one only. This is only the common part present. So magnetic field cannot come out of the greater one. So that's why it will have the same area. The effect you will see it in the same coil. So yes, so if this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So N1 into length is same. So mutual induction, finally we can say is mu naught N2 into N1 into L into area. Now see, classify, derive it for the other one. Means 2-1, M21, mutual induction of the second due to first. So magnetic field of the first will be considered, because now you are considering coil is the second one. So phi 2 will be B1A and 2. So same thing, class. See, if I put phi 2, this will be equal to mu naught N1 I1. From here, magnetic field A into N2. Now, mutual induction on 2 due to 1 is phi 2 divided by I1. This is mu naught N1 I1 A N2 divided by I1. Look, class. N2, when you write, N2 is eventually small n2 into L. Is there a difference? What are we getting M21 as? Mu naught N1 N2 L into A. Wasn't it the same? Mu naught N1 N2 L into A? Mu naught N1 N2 L into A. Okay? So both the mutual inductances are actually the same. M12 is equal to M21. Till now, this hasn't been asked in the board exam, but in the sample paper once it was given, and in the NCERT exemplar is there, it's there. But in the board exam till now, this derivation hasn't come. Okay, so area means, see, pi r square you use because we are talking about the circular coil, not the area of the cylinder, because there's a confusion. So that's why I've written this. And one more thing, there is coefficient of coupling. See, what is this coefficient of coupling? See, two coils are there. Between the two coils, mutual induction exists. But within the coil, self-induction will also be there, no? What did we study? If flux is changing, magnetic field is changing, this whole theory occurs. So induced current, what about the self-induction of the primary coil? Of the self-induction, we are talking about the self-induction. So when the current changes, so there would be an induced current within the same coil also. Definitely, it will definitely induce a current in the neighboring coil because two coils are present in proximity. But that doesn't mean their individual self-inductances are disrupted. So individual self-inductances are there and mutual inductances are also there. Now, you don't have to go into so much of complications now. What will be the net mutual inductance and all? No. I'll tell you this whole chapter. Till now, whatever is the pattern, basic easy derivations have come from this. Not even 5-marker derivations. 2-marker, 3-marker derivations have come from this chapter. Easy formula-based questions have come. Okay. So here also you don't have to go into this much detail. Whatever are the exceptional questions like that rod one, which has come, that I have discussed with you. Similarly, there is one very important question from this. Once I'll give the assignment today, in the next class I'll discuss. So this coefficient of coupling, just remember this maximum, to the maximum, just remember this coefficient of coupling. This formula connects all the three self-inductances of the individual coils and the mutual induction between them. So formula is M divided by under root L1 into L2. No derivation, nothing. Maximum, to be on the safer side, if they use anything, this could be asked. But you don't have to go into the complexities of these. Remember the basic derivation, basic formula, it's a scoring chapter. Don't lose marks in this chapter. Okay. In your half yearly, this chapter, see, weightage is also very low. Weightage is also very low of this chapter. But at least see, small marks make up the entire syllabus, right? So that's how your marks are distributed. So this completes with this chapter. Okay, 4 minutes are there, right? Whatever you are able to write, whatever will be left, we'll continue it in the next class. And in the next class, I'll start with alternating current. Okay. So for AC, just one thing, revise a little bit of current electricity if you get time, just the basic formula and all. Okay, very basic, though alternating current is completely different. Yes, before that, did you understand this chapter? All of you?
Yes.
Okay, this chapter is easy, so practice it. Don't ever skip this chapter at least. Yes, Aisha, this chapter is finished. This is all. Okay. The next class, AC will start. AC is also not a very lengthy chapter, but yes, it's a completely new topic for you. Alternating current we haven't discussed. So you'll be able to rate those students who are new, whose backup is still going on. AC, you will not find it difficult because it is new for everybody. Okay, nothing is related much there. Just a bit concepts of electricity, current electricity is used. So for that, just revise a bit. Rest, EM waves is also a very chapter. So we'll try to cover the first book quickly. And please, class, let me know whenever you all have your exams upcoming. Whenever you have the test, so that you share the syllabus and everybody. Because only few students have updated me, means updated the team and they have, so that we can prepare you. November pre-boards will start. Before that, no exam? Do you have any exam before that? Or directly now the pre-boards will start? Or class 2 minutes are there. If you want, you can take the screenshots also, or you can, if you want, you can write it in the next class. Let me know how do you want to go about. Just tell me. Screenshots. Others? Screenshots. Okay. Take the screenshot. 2 minutes are there. So before the next class, please write it in your register. Okay. Right, I just take a screenshot. I'll just turn off the video. Wait. Okay, just type done. Or just write the letter D. I'll scroll it. If there's any part missed by anyone, just stay. Otherwise, it's already 11 o'clock.